It's here. Today is the day. We are doing this. Let's talk vendor wax. Okay. Let you know ahead of time. If I am looking down, I have not one, not two, but 3 pages of notes for you guys. And we're going to start at the top. Let's just jump right in. Disclaimer. I'm not a professional. I don't know how you can be a professional wax buyer and get somebody to pay you to do that, but sign me up if you find the sign up sheet. I am just as new to this as anybody else. Actually, I'm probably more new in that I've started buying vendor wax in 2020. So my learning curve is a whole lot different than everyone else's because of the way that 2020 went, right? So just a heads up, if I say something that you feel is incorrect, there's constructive criticism and ways to correct people. Let's try that first. Okay, cool. First thing I wrote down was know yourself. Are you a scary buyer? I am. It's okay. If you're scary like I am, you're nervous about where you put your money, you're nervous about the time it takes to get there, you are nervous about the fact that you can't take it back anywhere, there's nowhere to exchange it. A lot of these people do not offer refunds. They're small businesses. If you are nervous about that, just know yourself. Don't let that deter you. Nothing is wrong with having a character trait. Know it. Be self-aware. Now, that brings me to know which notes you like. And by notes, I mean scent notes. Scent notes are things like cookies, cake. Scent notes can even be something more conceptual, like blue sugar, pink sugar. These are all things you're going to see when you see scent descriptions for wax melts. I don't even know what I wrote there. That's what I was looking at. So the way that I learned my scent notes was by ordering a lot of different samplers, right? In addition to that, if you buy mainstream or a big box store wax, a lot of times you notice you're gravitating towards certain scents. Some things you consider your favorites might also be your favorites in vendor wax. So that might be something you need to consider. Number 2, everyone has different vernacular. By different vernacular, I mean, you'll find that people have pans, they have bars, they have snaps, they have pots, they have clams, they have loaves. It's all just different ways of saying different shapes and different ounces. How do you know which was which? Next point, research. You do some research, right? So the research comes down to 3 different entities. That would be YouTube. Welcome, you started on a good foot. Okay, sorry. So yeah, you're in your first phase of research. Look at that. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, not in that order. In the correct order, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. YouTube is going to be your first step because YouTube will be your proof before your proof. So here you have people on YouTube. If you've ever been to school, some people haven't. If you've ever been to school, you know to source. Where is this information coming from? What is their motivation? It's important to think like that, not just when reading, but when in taking information from YouTube. We all know that the makeup industry and even the hair industry on YouTube, or should I say communities on YouTube, are not trustworthy because of how their information comes out. It's the motivation is typically money when it comes to them doing reviews and hauls. Now, Tina Divalicious, he touched on this. We don't know each other. He makes some good points. We don't know each other though. But If you watch me, you watch Tina Divalicious. The point is, he makes a good point on how it's a part of marketing that people get sent free things. However, sent free or free with, you know, a paid promotion by a YouTuber, it makes a difference. It does, even if they don't think so. It is just a part of human nature. Free things make us happy. Things we didn't have to purchase make us happy. It makes our lives easier. So, know your motivation. Know the motivation behind the person motivating you to purchase. And I say that because YouTube can be tricky like that. YouTube can be a large commercial. Me, I have 300 something odd subscribers. No one is, I'm not, you know, no one's in my pocket. Like, I buy this stuff because I like this stuff. I talk to you guys because I like to talk to you guys about it. You guys also have informed me about a lot of really great things. And again, this is not a one way we're having conversations. So, as a part of this Facebook, after you got your YouTube down, right? Your YouTube is proof that people receive products. Your YouTube is proof that the product or vendor is not fraudulent. You head over to Facebook. Facebook is where it gets tricky. A lot of these vendors are admins. So if you want to try out, I'm going to make up a company. I hope it's not a real company. If you want to try out Atlanta Wax Co. Atlanta Wax Co. or AWC has been reviewed on YouTube by all your favorite reviewers, all your favorite people, all your favorite haulers. You're like, okay, things are looking promising. A whole lot of people in a lot of different places like AWC. Then you move over and you're like, okay, I have this information. Let me move over and join her Facebook group, his or her Facebook group. And the reason I say his or hers is because oftentimes you will find the admin is the creator or the business owner of the groups. So if AWC has an owner named Morgan, Morgan will be the admin. I say that to say, I have seen people join these groups. They join these groups and they ask, is this wax any good? Does this wax work? Okay, so they get answers, right? These answers are biased. The owner of the group often answers. Are they wrong? Sometimes no. But the owner of the group is answering your questions and possibly seeing it, which will possibly persuade other people to answer a certain way. Be aware. It's something to be aware of. That's all I'm saying. I'm giving it to you in the most truthful form. You just have to know these things. So, next thing you do is Instagram. Instagram is going to be more of to keep you in the fast lane. Facebook will also help with this, but Instagram, people will drop quick pictures letting you know they're opening up their shop at such and such date on this PM Eastern Standard Time, you know. So if, again, AWC, Atlanta Wax Co., made up company, decides that they're going to open up their shop for ready to ship items, we'll talk about that in a minute, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The fastest way to get that information would be on Instagram. Now, if you don't have Instagram, don't worry about it. Facebook always has that information as well. It may not be the fastest just because of the way that Facebook filters information on your news feed. Even though the creator, Morgan, of AWC has posted this, you might not see it for 2 to 3 days. And Facebook will let you know that this was posted 2 to 3 days later, even though it didn't tell you 2 to 3 days before when the person posted it. It's very strange. So it really just goes by, like, I don't even know. I don't know what analytics they're using, because I would say most popular, but those kind of posts are pretty popular. But in Facebook, what you will find is your pre-order list. Now, there are 2 different types. There's pre-order and ready to ship. And these are based off of my knowledge as someone who started purchasing in 2020. Pre-order is where the vendor gives you a list of scents with the breakdown of the notes in them. They tell you this day these will be ready. The pre-order list allows them to take all of the orders and create them so that no one is missing any amount. They're not already ready. They have to make them. It is like when you give your order to a restaurant that is a sit-down restaurant. Now, ready to ship items is your drive-through. You pull up, you order the food, it's already sitting there. You know, it's already sitting there. But also, that means it's limited. Now, think about it like not in a drive-through where they can always make more. That's not the case with the vendors because they have a limited amount of that oil. So once it's out, it's out. And then you have to wait for another ready to ship or pre-order to come back. So keep that in mind. I'm breaking this down to the minute details because I feel like people always start a little overhead, right? Okay, I'm gonna stop here. And that pretty much covers my second point. Actually, let me tell you guys about resale. If you don't like to wait, resale items, there's resale groups. So if I purchase peaches and cream from this company that I just made up, that's a wax company, and I don't like the smell of it, I can take it to a resale group and resell it to someone who's been looking for it and doesn't want to wait for it to ship because shipping takes a while. Also, keep in mind that this is particularly, I guess it's regional. It might be everywhere. In Atlanta, where I live, ordering vendor wax in the summer, you will have to get ice boxes or ice bags that the vendors do offer at an additional cost. That was just a little asterisk that I wrote down, just so that everybody knows. In the summer, vendor wax is a little more expensive because at additional cost, the smaller business, they do not incur any costs that are not passed on to you. They're a small business, okay? There's no mass receiving of discounts for them. So they put every cost back on you. In addition to that, there's shipping. We'll talk about that in part 2.